Hello, friends. It's me, Shannon Stott, and
Hi, Luke Wallens. Yay.
look, you can see who we are right
Oh.
here. We're very very labeled.
Yeah.
Luke, and hello to Charlotte. Charlotte is it's so good to see you. I was like,
Yay.
Charlotte, listen, I made some changes, and Charlotte is rolling with those changes for the day. It's
Great.
very, very cool. Listen, Luke, we're in a different month.
Mm-hmm.
That means we have a different purpose.
Theme?
See, we have a different theme. We have a different theme, and that theme is
Purpose.
It's a purpose. And not as always, but look, this thing that I've gotten used to doing, look what I did.
Oh, yeah. That's great. How do we?
Oh, no, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about purpose. You know what? Forget it. We'll talk about purpose, and I'll figure out why I did that. But oh, look, here we go.
Okay.
Watch this. No.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Just forget it. We're talking about purpose. We're talking about purpose, and what I have first, it doesn't want to show, it just wants to show this one. But what I have for our talking about purpose is, how do we practice reframing wasted opportunities? Not at all. Come on.
No.
Okay, here it is, for real.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Can improv teach us how, this month's theme is purpose. Can improv teach us how to find it? Do we find it? Or does it find us?
Ooh. Well, I gotta say, I was so I teach Improv 101, and so one of the things that I was talking with some students who had just graduated from 301. Third level of improv, and you know, it was really fascinating to see people initiate things and then not initiate things, initiate scenes and not initiate scenes, and and you know, and trying to find, you know, the purpose of the scene. What's my character? What's the platform? Where are we? All that stuff. And you know, and I struggle, and I, you know, still struggle with that with improv sometimes too. But what I found that I gravitate towards were, you know, you can enter a scene in a lot of different ways. You know, with emotion, attitude, character, physicality, things like that. You know, and you know, as you continue with improv, you'll find which one you gravitate towards the most to initiate things. But it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. It's hard. It's hard to choose. Ooh, yeah. We're already getting deep into it. One, it's hard to choose. Two, sometimes it's hard to stick to. And three, I'll say that sometimes you may go in with a purpose and it changes, like whether that changes because of you or it changes because of your the scenario. And of course, we're talking on stage here, but we're also, I mean, if you watch the show. We're talking meta here. We're talking like off stage as well, right? And I feel like in this sentence, like, how do we find it or does it find us? And specifically, how can improv teach us how to find it? But really, we're talking about how can improv teach us how to cope with being flexible with our purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you have something in mind before you go into a scene, or like if you have something in mind about how your day is going to go. It's like my day is going to go exactly like this is how, but you may get like a random email that's like, whoa, I gotta focus on this, or you may get a flat tire, who knows. So and it's just, so yeah, dealing with like the surprise of life, like, and is tough because like like you still want to reach your goals, still want to have your expectation fulfilled, but at the same time you got to deal with what's in front of you.
Right.
That's-
Yeah. And we've talked a little bit about this before, but in dealing with what's in front of you, you can still hold on to loosely to hold on to what your purpose was at the very beginning. We're talking scene here, right? At the
yeah.
very top of a scene, if your purpose is to stay a character or to be a carrot, like this is my character, I'm going to be a carrot, and someone comes up to you and they're like, geez, you're so late to work, right? Wow. Okay. Do I drop my carrot? Do I completely drop my carrot and become a business person who's late to work? Or is it possible for me to be a carrot who is late to work? Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And that, for me, that translates into going out into the world, like you said, whatever is happening in the world, like, oh, I have this idea of what my goal is going to be today, but all these other things are coming into my life, whatever it is, the email, the traffic accident, the
Yeah.
is it possible for me to loosely hold on to, okay, well, what was my goal today? Can it still be accomplished? Can I be flexible about it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and like with like in like drama therapy workshops, I kind of look at like sometimes, look at the ways of like how when expectation meets a problem, and
Mm,
like like I expect it to turn out this way but it's not, and this other person expects it to turn out this way and it's not. So how do we figure that out? And a lot of times it's just um, looking at it from a different angle, looking at
mhm,
like getting perspective on like, okay, am I understanding this other person's point of view? Are they understanding my point of view? Because both are valid, both are important, because that's how the friction started, but it's also like it's where the solution can happen.
mhm,
um um and so like and so it's just kind of breaking it down about like looking at like the perspective of like, okay, of the other person, as well as like maybe even if you look at the other perspective of the other person and yourself, and there still aren't solutions, there may be some other external ones, like, which is why I generally like doing drama therapy in a group, because like there's lots of times people can see stuff from the outside, and that you don't, because you're involved in that situation. It's hard to get perspective on what your situation is or what the solution is, but somebody on the outside might be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, this is the simple solution, I got it, like,
mhm.
um and so that can help as well, so.
Yeah. I man, the one, you talking about leaning on other people, like this is definitely what we're doing in improv in general.
Yeah.
To when you're talking about seeing things from the outside, other people having different perspectives, and maybe they can sort of fill in that. I have been many times. In fact, I was thinking about a show. I was thinking about a show today, and I was talking to this person about doing a show and doing a job, a completely different job. And she was saying, well, what are the barriers, asking me, what are the barriers between doing the show? What are the barriers of doing the show? And I told her, and she said, what if you just combined the job that you're wanting to do with doing the show? Is that a possibility? And in this particular instance, it was so funny, because it was like so obvious that uh, I was,
Yeah.
I was like, well, why didn't I see that? Why didn't I see that? And that there's something very important about some outside perspective. The
Mhm.
other little bit that I want to like get into, specifically, of course, because you're a drama therapist, but this idea of trying on multiple perspectives, like being different characters and being in improv, and we're trained to
Mhm.
try different characters, and not only just the physicality of a different character, but the mentality, the perspective of a different character.
Right.
And in this little bit of can improv teach us how to find it? That is
Yeah.
purpose. It's like, yeah, we're trained to try. What is the purpose of me if I am leading this life? If I live in San Francisco, does it
Mhm.
change if I live in Austin? Does it
Mhm.
change if I cut my hair? Does it change if I get a new job? What are
Mhm.
these different characters characteristics that I can have
Mhm.
about myself that help me to find and play with what my purpose could be?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, with there's a lot of this is kind of like talking about role theory um, with drama therapy, and it's something that we did during one of the shows a couple years ago, where basically it's kind of like you can approach role theory from a lot of different ways. Say that like um, given the scenario of like your want is always the same. So if you're given a scene of like, okay, I want to start a garden. Um, but you but you may be like playing different roles about like I'm a pirate who wants to start a garden. I want or I am a business owner that wants to start a garden, or I'm a kid that wants to start a garden. So you're putting yourself in different mindsets, different ages, different scenarios. But the purpose is still the same. The drive is still the same. The want is still the same. um and by doing with those three characters, in this really fun scenario, you'll understand like, oh, like like take it sorry, I'm going to take it back to extract it a little bit further. Like, say that like my child self, my pirate self, my business self, um
Yeah.
like like my business self says that I need to water it every day and be very disciplined. My pirate self is like, just throw it all in, and the kid self is kind of like, well, I just want to play in the dirt. So but with you playing with all those roles, you figured out, you've gotten your own perspective on like, my purpose is threefold. It's like to have
Hmm.
the structure and to be playful and to try out new things. Those three things, and so you can kind of like play with it from there
Hmm.
as well.
I love this. You're talking about playing with it,
Hmm.
and there is journey in that. And
Hmm.
I'm trying to see. Oh, yes. Okay. Sometimes in that scenario that you're talking about, all those three perspectives are trying. The purpose is to build the garden,
Right.
right? Like, my purpose is to be a gardener.
Hmm.
And also, if we remove, or at least put far away, the garden part,
Hmm.
it sounds like some of what you're talking about is the journey of discovery of what the perspective of a pirate is, what
Yeah.
my pirate self wants. And
Hmm.
it's like, it's interesting because on stage, when we're on stage and we're doing this, sometimes we're the goal really, the purpose is the scene itself.
Hmm.
And sometimes we don't find what the purpose of the scene is. Like there may not be an end, there may not be a the and they all lived happily ever after.
Right.
Sometimes we're in the space where we're just exploring who this pirate character is
Yeah.
to this business person, like, and
Hmm.
we get to just explore that. And I feel like when we take that off stage, there is some compassion that we need to have with ourselves
Yeah.
when we are in the moment of just, we're not necessarily like, okay, we're going to be gardeners and we have to figure out what kind of gardeners we're going to be. We
Hmm.
can just be our pirate selves and
Yeah.
just explore, like, all right, this is what
Yeah.
it feels like to walk through the world fully as my pirate self.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And so you'll notice like different ways to react to things, or ways that you may have wanted to react but you couldn't do, in a different like in a different scenario. And then also, I mean, like if we take out like the want of like, building a garden, and we're just exploring ourselves, if we were if we were a pirate, or if we were a business person, we're not normally that type of person. There's a lot of discovery to be had, about who you are. And I really like the fact that you had said that you're giving yourself compassion, and being compassionate with different versions of yourself. And I think that's super super important, in terms of like finding a purpose, and like there may be some different you know um, adjectives that you could place onto what your purpose is. I think it's also just good to have like just kind of a good context of like, what maybe what your purpose is, what you feel like your purpose is with, a context of career, or purpose of like, what's my
Mm.
to go a little bit deeper, like to what's my purpose of like, what's not purpose, but like position, what's my position in the family, like, where do I see myself, what does my family see myself, and
Mm.
kind of figuring it out from there too. That goes a little bit deeper with drama therapy, but
And I love that because it also starts talking to the end of part of this sentence, which
yeah.
is, does purpose find us?
Yeah.
And it sounds like, yeah, that's so interesting. I love that. The the fact that we can sit in different roles. We can
Hmm.
sit in our pirate self, we can
Yeah.
sit in our business self, in our child self.
Hmm.
And within those roles, we can sit in, okay, well, what does it mean to be a pirate in my family?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and you said it, you said, how does my family see me?
Hmm.
Right? And
Hmm.
that's so big. Oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I see that now
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Whoa. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah. Yeah.
know. But it's big because
Yeah.
you can take on, oh, you could take on a purpose that's not for you, that doesn't fit what
Yeah.
you like, right?
Hmm.
And that you there's like some work to be done there.
Yeah.
And on stage, it's very similar, right? People can
Hmm.
endow you, we use this word, right? People can endow you as a certain character or having a certain trait, and maybe that doesn't sit with you on stage. Maybe that's not what it is, and people can do
Yeah.
that off stage, and it
Yeah.
maybe it's not your purpose, your
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Yeah. 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 Like, yeah. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, I don't know if this is me. But at the same time, like to play with those endowments, like, and also like to go a little bit further, like say that you have like a dream job. Like I would love to be a gourmet chef. That is the thing. And this is something that we naturally do as well. If we have like a dream goal in mind, we fantasize about it, we think about it, and being like, and play it out, being like, oh yeah. Gourmet chef, gonna sprinkle a little salt this way, sprinkle also salt this way. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's playful. It's fun. It's really cool. Like, that's a dream. And so part of like finding your steps with the purpose of that dream is to imagine yourself and use your imagination to play out the scenario. Be like, okay, I don't have like all the cooking accoutrement to be a gourmet chef yet, but I do have a knife, a fork, and a spoon, and got some food. So I'll see if I can chop it up really nicely, or whatever. So,
It's important. It's that playfulness is really important. Starting with what you have.
yeah.
Starting where you are with what you have is really important, because I think that we really miss that. As in, there's so many times where I've been like, I can't do that. I don't have a fill in the blank.
Right.
But I do have, or I can't, working out is so great. I can't work out. I don't have any gym equipment.
Right.
Oh, great. But you have your own body, or, and we have maybe some walls and we can do some jumping jacks or whatever it is. We can start with what we have.
Yeah.
And we're getting back on stage now, but hello. I happen to be in a hotel room and someone is coming into my hotel. Come in, but I'm on a call. This is improv.
Improv.
Yeah. So I'm on a call. Give me a second.
I'll go down and get another room.
That's okay.
You seem nice, but
yeah, I am. I'm a really nice person.
You are.
So what happens is this: we get on a track where things throw you off. Right. I don't even know where I was, Luke. What was I talking about?
We were talking about like career goals, dreams, having a fantasy. Yeah.
So yes, this idea that you can start with where you are. You can start with where you are, and you can build from there. I was saying that. Oh, and then I was talking about, yes, you like working out. You can do that as well. You can start with whatever you have, and then on stage, getting back on stage. So getting back on stage, what helps us when we're in an improv mindset and we're practicing improv is the fact that we have nothing. We actually don't have anything. We don't have set. We don't have, we're just making stuff up right there on the spot. And that trains our brain to be open, to what the possible. That's last month's. That's last month, but just hearkening back to last month's theme, to be open to what the possibilities are for our purpose, for why we are there.
Yeah. Yes. To go along with that, like, I mean, I think that's how purpose finds us, is if are in the mindset of like, I'm going to be open to all the possibilities. I'm going to try things out, because sometimes we get ourselves into a spot where it's like, I don't want to do anything. I don't have any motivation. I don't get it. And losing direction of where we want to go, in different ways. But I always come back to an ice cream quote. I always love ice cream. So basically it's like, have I tried all the flavors of ice cream yet? Have I, because I got my favorites. I got some favorites, which is great. But have I tried all the flavors? No, I have not. And even if I've tried every flavor at one of the famous, corporations, there's always like a tiny little ice cream shop that's like, we've got this one extra flavor. That's like, are you serious? Yeah, it's great.
There is something in there about knowing what you like. Like I like ice cream, but I haven't tried all the different flavors of ice cream. And so even if your goal is working out or to be a chef, your dream job is to fill in the blank, and you're having trouble reaching it, like, right?
Yeah.
There's still, it sort of talks, we're sort of going back to the very beginning of our conversation when we were talking about we can still hold loosely whatever it was, the goal or the purpose, while we are moving through, right? If our goal is to be a chef, then, and it's not working out for us, how can we hold loosely and find other ways to be flexible in that goal?
Right. Yeah. And so that's kind of where it's like, if you're feeling stuck about being a chef, there's that's where it'd be good to break it down about like what are the values, as Emily said, what are the values that you find, what are things that you're gravitating towards about, why do you want to be a chef, what's really exciting about it, what and also I want to add in about like what qualities do you have that add to the chef fantasy, what inspired you, like what strengths do you have, like it's like I'm really good at like chopping things really thin slices of cucumber, I don't know, so
super paper thin.
I'm so good at that, like
you said what inspires you, and we tell our improvisers this when they get on stage, when they finally get on stage and they get like they get flustered in the moment. I am like, well, what inspired you to even get on stage? And usually it's something so small. Oh, I just saw that person's, the way they moved made me think of, or my body just was like excited. And if you can just use that as the tiny bit of seed to the next step, like, okay, you were inspired by the way their body moved, you got on stage, what does that inspire you to do? What does it inspire you to say? And you can coach those things, and you can teach those things so that you're moved by inspiration. And your purpose, again, was like, does it find us? It can feel like it found us when we're moved in that way.
And there's the cheesy general line of like, do what you love, but it's true, in terms of like, okay, like this is go for what you're gravitating towards, because like 9 times out of 10 you will like it will like lead to other things, like even if that's not the end all be all. Like I'm doing a lot of different gigs right now, but one of the gigs that I kept was the fact that I kept this one gig that I've been doing for like 10 years, and I love it. Like I love keeping on with it because it aligns with the values that I'm looking for and that I want to keep on going with it. In terms of like they respect the employees, they're constantly like checking themselves about like, okay, how can we improve? There's like they pay an awesome wage as well. So things like that are like really, and it benefits the community at large. So it's like those are 3 things that I really gravitate towards, and that like it has led to other things as well.
I have so much to say. So that makes me think about one's purpose doesn't have to be what one does. Right? It's like, it doesn't have to be your life's work. It can be the opposite. Like it can be how you want to be treated in life. And listening to you talk about like they treat their workers well. There's diversity. There's this, there's that. Your purpose can be like, I want to, my purpose is to be treated well so I can treat others well. Like I
Yeah.
want to be in a space where I can receive feeling good, right? So that I can also do my best work, whatever that work is. I could do my best work at a library. I could do my best work catching fish, whatever, whatever it is. If the library is treating me poorly, but the people catching fish are treating me well, like I'll just catch fish, you know, so that I can do that well. So there's so many ways to like, to think about what your purpose is and how to find it.
But I think you know, one of the things that like how to find it and how it finds us is, once again, what you're gravitating towards, what you're inspired by, and then building off from there. Because if you know, if there's no inspiration either way, like it's just it's going to be harder to find your purpose with that.
Friends and family, just listen to Luke Wallens. That's all I ask. That's great. Luke, I'm gonna see whatever is going on. Also, you're amazing.
You are.
Thank you. It's good to hear these things reiterated, and it's also good to hear them coming from you as a professional, like just in specifically drama therapy, where people can go. It's a different mindset, right? People have ideas and they don't know what they're getting into, but we're still working on the same things that you could be working on anywhere else, but we're looking at it from a different way. We're looking at it from different perspectives.
Right, exactly.
You're great, Luke Wallens.
You are Shannon Stott. Oh.
All right, friends and family, listen, like whether you're breaking into somebody's hotel room or not, whether you're out finding your purpose, we are cheering for you, whether your purpose is on or
off the stage.
Bye.
Bye.